Hello chaps, here we are in Warsaw, walking down through the old town, and I wanted to talk about yo-yo relationships in this video because yo-yo relationships are something that pretty much all of us get into, I think, in one form or another. And certainly for me, most of my relationships really have had an element of yo-yoing in them. Not 100% all of them, but most of them. Okay. So what is it? What does it mean? Why does it happen? And what do you do to break the cycle? Okay, so what it means basically, or what the way that I'm using this term anyway, is to mean when you're in a relationship with somebody, with a girl, you're with her for a bit. The amount of time can vary, you know, it doesn't really matter. It could be really short, it could be really long, whatever. You're with her, and then something goes wrong in the relationship, and you guys split up. And you split up, and depending on who initiates the breakup, that person obviously thinks this is a good idea, this is the right thing, we shouldn't be together, etc., etc. And then there's a period of a bit of time when you guys are broken up. And then the messages start again, the phone calls maybe start again, the Instagram DMs, whatever, it all starts up again. And then you guys meet up, and then the next thing you know, you sleep together, and then you are basically back together. Moonlight Sonata. Lovely. And it's a pattern that seems to just happen all the time. I mean, pretty much every single relationship that I've been in, every single girlfriend that I've had, we've ended up breaking up for whatever reason. And then one or other of us, often me, has reinitiated the contact, and then we've ended up meeting up, going for a drink, we've ended up sleeping together, and then the relationship is back on. I think a lot of it is comfort, and I think a lot of it is sunk cost fallacy, and there's an element of lack of abundance in there as well, and just general human emotion, you know, love, or at least oxytocin. The thing is, right, if you're with somebody for a period of time, there's gonna be some, in most cases, not every case, in most cases, there's gonna be some good things about that relationship. There's gonna be some stuff that you liked, you know, the sex, the snuggling on the couch watching Netflix, the conversations, the fact that here's somebody who understands you, you know, in a cold, lonely world, which can feel pretty bleak sometimes, you know, just wandering around in big cities and things like this on your own, and you don't have anybody, and it's nice sometimes, isn't it, to feel that there's somebody in your corner. Now, of course, you've got friends and things like that, but nobody ever really hits the spot in the same way that a girlfriend does, or a wife or a partner, right? You know, you are very, very intimate. You're really intimate with that person. You probably know each other better than anybody else on the planet, or it feels like that. And you know, to just walk away from that, it's really, really hard. As the old Scott Walker Brothers song goes, breaking up is so very hard to do, and it really is. Because even if there are things that, you know, in the relationship that mean that you guys probably shouldn't be together, what happens is as soon as you've broken up, you start to remember all of the good stuff, all of the good times, all of the things that were the reasons you got together in the first place, and you tend to filter out, so this is the difficulty, you tend to filter out the stuff that made it non-ideal, you know. So it might be, for example, that you're with a girl and it's all, you know, quite nice and everything, but really what you want to do is go and travel. And frankly, you know, you're not really ready to settle down, and you'd quite like to basically hook up with other girls. And you're thinking, well, you know, summer's coming up, I've got some time off, I could be traveling around Europe, I could be having a ball, meeting different women, and I'm stuck with this girl at home, and I'm not sure I want to be in that position. And so you break up the relationship. All right, this kind of thing happens the whole time. And then, you know, you break up the relationship and you think, oh, thank God, now I'm free, now I can do what I want. And then you go out to the bar and you talk to a few girls and you get shot down, you know, or you meet a girl who's, you know, you meet some girl and she's kind of not as good as your ex, or she's not really as attractive, or she just doesn't have that, there's not that same spark between the two of you. And you start to reminisce and you start to be nostalgic about what you've left behind, about what's been lost. And then it's really, really tempting to reach out and to send that DM or send that message, or even just do a cheeky little like on one of her pictures or something. Just anything to initiate that contact again. And then she responds to that. You guys end up meeting up, and the rest is history, as they say. Now, when this doesn't work as well is if she's dumped you, okay? If she's dumped you, and she's dumped you because she lost attraction to you, you know, because you were a bit of a wuss, or you just got a bit boring, or she met Chad and he was much more exciting than you and she decided to go off and bang him instead. If that's the case, then you can reach out all you like, but the likelihood is you know you're not going to meet up. This isn't going to happen. When this happens, this yo-yoing, it tends to be when actually the attraction is still present in the relationship for the most part. There's still attraction there. There's still like a regard for one another. You still like each other. It's just that logistically, for whatever reason, things aren't working out. And it could be even something as significant as, you know, you don't want children, she does. And so you know that in the end, the relationship really is not going to go anywhere unless one of you changes your mind. Could be even something like that, as significant as that. And that really is a pretty good reason to break up, because, you know, it's in the end, what are you going to do about that conundrum, right? Somebody's going to have to, you know, make a significant concession in order to right that particular conundrum. But then you're away from her for a couple of weeks and you're thinking, oh, I really miss Sally. I really miss, you know, when we used to watch whatever, you know, Family Guy together. It was so cool. I just really want to see her again. And you reach out and you guys go on a date and you have sex and everything. Now, often the sex in these situations can be really good because there's a sense of sort of reclaiming something that's been lost. You know, there's a sense of, because after the breakup, it's always unknown what's going to happen. You know, you reach out to her, but you're not 100% sure that she's going to come back. You're not 100% sure she's going to be receptive to you, or because maybe she's moved on, maybe she's met somebody or whatever. And then when she is receptive, it's really exciting. And then when you guys, you know, you go out, you have a drink, and then you go to bed, it's incredibly exciting for both of you because what you've done. And this is the thing, you know, relationships get dull because there's no uncertainty really in them anymore. It's very pedestrian, it's very quotidian and domesticated. You know, you guys, right, we're together, we're going to go, you know, tomorrow we go to the seaside, then we go to bed, blah, blah, blah. But you've reintroduced, through the break, you've reintroduced a degree of uncertainty into things, okay? And both of you aren't quite sure what's going to happen, how the other one's going to react. So then when it does happen, it's incredibly exciting. And the sex, as I say, can be great for that first initial period. But also then what happens is there tends to be, as soon as you've had sex, or as soon as you spent that first night together, then there's sort of like this feeling of like, oh God, should I have done this? Because now I'm just back in it again, you know? Now I'm just like, I'm back on the hamster wheel again. And often that excitement, as I say, can then be followed by a sort of sense of anxiety or a sense of like, oh God, you know, foreboding. What have I done? Because now I've started the cycle again. You know, the yo-yo relationship. There's another demo here. Oh yeah. You know, the yo-yo relationship has resumed, but do I really want this? Is this actually what I wanted? Because now, in the cold light of day, I still kind of want to go to Europe. I still wanted to travel. I still wanted to do those things. And now I'm back with her again, so I can't. And this kind of thing, gentlemen and ladies, can go on for years. All right, it can go on for years, yo-yoing backwards and forwards, playing these stupid games with that same person, leaving the relationship, coming back into the relationship, leaving it again, coming back in. And you both know, really, deep down, you both know that ultimately this isn't going to work. You're only postponing the inevitable, and you're probably not admitting that to yourself. You're probably in denial about it, right? But you are just delaying that inevitable thing when eventually contact is going to be broken and that's going to be it. And you guys are going to be split up. And the reason that you don't want to admit that to yourself is because that's an incredibly hard thing to deal with. Finality in these situations is very hard to deal with because what are you saying? You're effectively saying, I am never going to speak to this person again. I'm never going to go to bed with this person again. You know, I'm not going to have a future with this person. And that is incredibly harsh and very difficult. I think that a lot of the time we would prefer to live in a bit of a grey area, particularly when it's people that we care about and we have fondness for. We'd rather live in a grey area with them. And it's about control as well. And this is where people can get accused of being manipulative in relationships sometimes because really what you're trying to do, if you're the one who is not letting the woman go because you're kind of not sure and I miss her a bit and you know maybe we can make this work, and then you pull her back into your life, what you're really doing is you are seeking to control her, you know, because you just can't stand the thoughts that she might move on, and then and she moves on in a way that's irrevocable, like she meets someone else and she marries that dude or she gets engaged to that dude, and then suddenly there's no way back and you are left out in the cold. That's the thing that you fear. That's the thing that you can't face. And so, you know, you put little pings out there. I think they call it breadcrumbs. You drop little breadcrumbs. You know, there's no contact for a bit. Then maybe you send her a song off Spotify, or you do a like on one of her stories, or you send her a little ping, little message. And it's all about, one part of you don't want her back, but another part of you just want to make sure she's still there. You just want to make sure that if you reach out, you know, she's still there, she's still responsive. And women do this as well. Guys do this, women do this as well. So you might be on the receiving end of this. And that's equally bad. It's worse, really. You're on the receiving end of this. So you've kind of split with this girl or whatever, you cared about her, and then all of a sudden she pings you, or all of a sudden she sends you a little message, or she does a little like or something, and then you get all excited because it's like, oh God, this could be back on again. And then you message her, and then she sort of disappears, and then she comes back again. And what's probably happening there is she is playing the field on her side. You know, let's be honest. She's probably got some other guys she's chatting to, she's talking to, but she's sort of seeking to control you. She's kind of keeping tabs on you, so that if it all goes pear-shaped, if it all goes wrong, she knows that she's still got you on side as well, okay? And in that instance, you are, in effect, the victim of the yo-yoing, as opposed to being the instigator of it. So, all of this stuff is really difficult, and you have to try to honestly assess your own relationship and with this person and think about, you know, is it really a goer? I mean, look, sometimes people break up and then, you know, they get back together again and then it all works out and they live happily ever after. Well, sort of. That could happen for you in your situation. Who am I to say? But you have to assess the relationship and try to be at least honest with yourself and think either, why am I hanging on to this person even though I don't really want to be with them, or why am I allowing them to hang on to me even though whenever I try to say, okay, right, let's move forward, she's elusive and it doesn't really happen. You know, you can't allow yourself to be played, but neither is it fair really for you to be playing other people either. The right thing to do, of course, and the hardest thing to do, is to be cold-blooded about it and just end the damn thing. And that means a little message, we're done, deleting her on all platforms, no pinging, no messages, no meeting up, nothing. It is done. And that, as I say, of course, is the hardest thing to do. And the only way to do it is one day at a time. It's like any sort of addiction, right? The only way to get over it is one day at a time. You just don't contact her. You just don't reinitiate, okay? And that's all you can do. And it's hard as hell. And you might slip and you might not be able to withstand and you might contact her, but then you have to pull back. And you have to start again. You start the clock again. No contact, no reinitiating anything. And if you're on the victim side of this, then basically you block her and you are not responding to any messages, any pings, anything like that. You know, for you, right, look, drawing a line in the sand, this is now done, okay? And that is the only way to get out of this cycle of yo-yoing. That's the only way that you're going to do it. And to be honest, if you're watching this and you're in this yo-yo situation, you're probably not going to take any notice of this advice anyway, because usually what happens is these situations only end when something significant happens, when there's a moment of pain, or there's a moment of crisis, and you reach a point of no return. It's very hard for both sides to end these sort of things. And there are couples where it's been going on for years, and it will continue to go on until they finally go, okay, look, sod it, let's just get married. Or let's just live together because we're never going to get out of this. Or somebody is brave enough and cold-blooded enough to go, no more, I'm putting my foot down, that's the end of it. Anyway, hope you got some value from this. Maybe you know where I'm coming from. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. If so, leave a comment below, let me know. Maybe you disagree wildly with what I'm saying. If so, leave a comment below. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel, of course, if you haven't already. And get on my free email newsletter as well. The link is below. And also, if you want to read more of my stuff, grab my collection of 11 books about dating, the dating marketplace, etc., called Renegade Dating Blueprint. The link is below. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.